Hello, I'm Davin Park and I love roller coasters and planes. I've visited 6 countries and 4 states just to ride them. Today I'll be sharing my adventure in New Jersey, specifically Six Flags Great Adventure. I will only talk about the roller coasters. Just a quick side point here from editing Davin. I went to Six Flags Great Adventure as I was in the New York area by pure coincidence. Kingda Ka, if you didn't know, has finally closed on November 14th, 2024, less than a month after I visited. So this theme park review is a little outdated on that point. Long live the king. Six Flags Great Adventure is located in Jackson, New Jersey, which is about an hour and a half drive from New York City and an hour's drive from Philadelphia. The park itself opened in 1974 and was purchased by Six Flags in 1977. The park has a collection of 14 roller coasters, including Kingda Ka, the world's tallest coaster, and one of the best coasters in the world, El Toro. Surprisingly, I seem to have enjoyed Kingda Ka more. Anyways, the park's most recent coaster is the Jersey Devil Coaster, which is an amazing ride and feels a lot more single rail-like than Wonder Woman in Magic Mountain. Of course, they have a new one that's opening. Flash Vertical Velocity. The park is definitely mainly catered to thrill seekers, seeing how almost all the roller coasters there are made for adults. They're rated extreme in RCDB. They do have a small kiddie section, but that's it. The food is what many would call theme park food, and this park is massive when including Hurricane Harbor and the safari there. The park houses the world's tallest coaster, which is obviously one of the biggest selling points for the GP. Of course, I'm not a fully blown coaster enthusiast, so I can't say that, but still. The first time I went to this park was back in the summer of 2022, which is quite a long time ago. After visiting Six Flags New England via a summer camp trip, I really wanted to go to a more thrilling Six Flags. Since we were staying in Manhattan, I begged my parents if we could go there. They reluctantly said yes, and I went on a couple of rides. My experience included, in 2022, struggling to find the entrance to Nitro, being absolutely mind-blown by Kingda Ka, chickening out on El Toro, absolutely getting crushed by a Green Lantern, and finally experiencing that weird feeling you get on flying coasters on Superman Ultimate Flight. The entire thing is now a blur, sadly, as over 10% of my life has happened after that. But on October 19th, 2024, I went to Six Flags Great Adventure again. With a Flash Pass, I was able to go on a ridiculous amount of rides in like 3 hours. I'll only talk about the 4 main roller coasters: Nitro, Jersey Devil, El Toro, and Kingda Ka. Nitro used to be one of my favorite coasters, and it was my first ride on my 2024 visit. The coaster has a height of 230 feet, an amazing drop of 215 feet, a top speed of 80 miles an hour, and a length of 5,394 feet. It took me 10 minutes and asking an employee to, actually find the entrance. Climbing the lift hill in the backseat, I realized something as I was looking over the trees. This roller coaster is taller than every single roller coaster in South Korea. Wow. I found this quite funny and I put my hands up the entire ride. Reflecting on my coaster journey, it was clear I wasn't scared of that many things. Or so I thought. After exiting Nitro, I went onto the queue of Jersey Devil, and soon they called for a single rider. I couldn't believe my luck. I was a single rider, and it was the back row. Being ecstatic, I shouted, "Single rider here," and jumped over the fence. One of the employees showed a face of, geez, okay. The coaster is 3,000 feet long with a height of 130 feet, and with a top speed of 58 miles an hour, it was a pretty good coaster. Being on the backseat really does make a difference, and the whole ride was intense. This ride thankfully wasn't running as slow as heck, as people say, and the ride seemed a little bit better than Wonder Woman, as I did not sit in the back of that ride. Definitely a really good coaster, both of them. I then walked across the entire park. Sadly, the Sky Ride at Great Adventure is closed, so I had to walk. As I was saying, I walked to the other side of the park to El Toro, and the ride broke down. I was thinking, okay, and soon walked to Kingda Ka. Literally, as I was walking toward the queue, they announced that Kingda Ka had also broke down. I was too lazy to walk back to the center of the park, and I just waited patiently. After around half an hour, the ride finally opened. I obviously went to sit in the front row before my nerves began kicking in. For those who don't know, this coaster has a length of 3,118 feet, a height of 456 feet, a drop of 418 feet, and with an acceleration of 0 to 128 miles an hour in 3.5 seconds, it accelerates faster than an F1 car. This makes Kingda Ka the world's tallest coaster and second fastest ever built as of October 2024. I sat by myself since, not a lot of people ride the world's tallest coaster with a power of allegedly 20,800 horsepower by themselves in the front row. With no one sitting next to me, we exited the station, and I thought, wow, this runway is long. I then prepared for something else. As soon as I felt the launch, I put my hands up, and oh boy, I did not have to check to put them down. The first half a second-ish, I thought, wow, this launch was a lot weaker than I remember. Then the launch continued for another dreadful 3 seconds, and these 3 seconds feel like forever. We then changed directions to go up, and I felt every single part of my body being squished into my seat. As we crested the top, I think for 2 or 3 seconds, or maybe just 1, I looked around to see the beauty of New Jersey. Trees. The view is just trees in a parking lot, but it's still good since it was fall. As we began the job, I really couldn't care less. As we stopped falling and began that long airtime hill, I guess just a hill, I felt my body being squished again, only stronger, and for some reason I wanted this to end. The forces were just too strong. As we hit the brakes, I realized something. I had my hands up the entire time. The entire experience I had my eyes open, and for some reason I got hit in the face with like water or something, which I think is this. Sorry if that was too long. Let me finish with El Toro. El Toro is probably the best intimate prefabricated wooden coaster with only 4 being built. Balder, Colossus, El Toro, and T-Express. T-Express is in South Korea, specifically Everland, so I could definitely tell you El Toro is a whole lot more intense. The coaster has a height of 181 feet, a drop of 176 feet, a top speed of 70 miles an hour, and a length of 4,400 feet, and an insane steep 76-degree vertical angle drop. I sat in the backseat again. The lift hill was fast, and as we turned for the initial drop, I braced myself. However, I put my hands up as we did the initial drop, and it was a great drop. It felt pretty much the same as T-Express. As we went to the first airtime hill, someone's car keys or phone blew over me. It was like 10 feet above my head, and I was like, wow, since I've never seen anyone's belongings fly over. All of these hills were amazing, and after the infamous Rolling Thunder hill, I put my hand down. This was one of the first rides where I generally was scared, or just felt like too, squished into my seat, and I'd be surprised if any rides could top this. Being literally there only a month ago, this park will most likely get the most accurate score out of any theme park review. Based on the IB subject grades, I'll be grading Six Flags Great Adventure out of 7, with 7 being the highest score. Therefore, I rate the park a definite 7 out of 7. If you'd rate the park on the IB scale, what would you rate it? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe. Thanks.